In this video, I'm going to do a complete tutorial of the YOLOBOX Pro, coming up. Hi everyone, this is Álvaro Brizola. Welcome to my channel. It's called Megapixelers. Every week I bring product reviews, tips and tutorials just like this one, although I would typically do it in Portuguese. This time, however, YOLOLIVE asked me to create a tutorial in English and I gladly accepted because I'm a big fan of this device. In the video description, you're going to find an affiliated link of this product in case you're interested, as well as timestamps. But let's jump right into this. Let's start with the product overview. This is the YOLOBOX Pro, which besides being a big, bright, high-resolution camera monitor, is also a video recorder. Not quite like the Atomos Ninja 5, it doesn't record in ProRes, doesn't have false colors or timecode, but it's rather a simple video recorder. You can actually record directly into an SD card with a maximum resolution of 1080p, 8 bits, 420, so it's a compressed file, but still you're going to edit very easily. Then if your camera has been overheating or has a recording limit, you get to record directly here, not having to deal with this anymore, with the added benefit that now you can upload pre-recorded videos, overlay, lower thirds, and bring them up when needed, which is going to significantly streamline your editing workflow. And that's very cool, but the most interesting and impressive thing is that this is also a fully featured video switcher with multiple HDMI inputs. You can plug in webcams, professional audio, you can do different types of picture-in-picture, different types of video transitions, you can even do green screen. While this is also a video encoder, allowing you to live stream into multiple platforms simultaneously directly from this device, even if you don't have access to a computer, even if you don't have access to any standard internet connection because you can leverage your mobile data plan, even if you don't have access to a power outlet because it has an internal battery. And in the future, you will be able to connect this device to your computer through the USB-C out port, making it work like a capture card, allowing you to use your professional cameras as they were USB webcams on your computer. So it's a very nice device which is going to unlock so many possibilities, like the ability to live stream outdoors away from any power source. And as long as you have, data coverage, you will be able to reliably live stream into multiple platforms simultaneously while recording to an SD card, using multiple professional cameras and professional audio, monitoring a nice screen, monitoring audio because it has a headphone jack, while interacting with your audience because you can actually display their comments and picture by simply tapping into their comments in this touchscreen, super user-friendly interface. So it's a great device. I think you're going to like it. But enough with this product overview. Let's see how you use it. When you first turn it on, that's the screen that you are going to see. And what I would recommend is for you to tap into the upper right corner and already set up your connections with Facebook, with your YouTube account, with your Twitch account, and any custom, live streaming platforms that you desire. Here is where you can set up your Wi-Fi as you would typically do in any device if you are going to use Wi-Fi. You can even test your internet connection. You can set up your language. If there is any firmware update, it's going to pop up here automatically for you to just accept. Everything is going to happen transparently for you in the background. I recommend you do this up front so you don't have to worry about this afterwards. Click on the plus sign and then you're going to have to make a decision. You're either going to click on the create a live stream or go to the monitor mode. And even before explaining what they are, let me tell you that 100%, no exception, of everything that you find on the monitor mode, you also find on the create a live stream mode. But you cannot create live streams in the monitor mode. And it makes sense for people like me that understands that there are multiple confirmatory steps before you go live, but you still may be concerned of accidentally hitting the go live button and going live when you don't mean to. And the go live button is not available on the monitor mode. And right there for me, that's a reason for them to be separate. But I think the key reason is because there's only one encoder, which means the encoding bit rate is the same for live streaming and for recording into an SD card, and this is today capped at 8,000 kilobits per second. This is quite a bit for live streaming. In fact, if you're planning to live stream at 1080p, 8,000 kilobits per second, you better have a reliable, strong internet connection. But it is not that impressive for recording into an internal SD card, especially if you're planning to color grade. By keeping them separately, I think YOLOLIVE has the option to unlock higher bit rates for internal recording while keeping lower bit rates for streaming, so it's pretty clever. That being said, I'm not going to talk about anything on the monitor mode just because everything is going to be covered anyways as part of the create a live stream button. Then I'm going to create one, I'm going to put a very random name, just test. I'm not going to, populate any of this information. And then I'm going to hit the button create. And as you can see, it comes here as an icon. I could actually have created multiple live streams and then set up everything. And at the time of the event, I just bring them up very easily. But for the sake of time, I'm only going to do once. Please note this is nothing but an Android interface. So it's very smooth. Nothing gets stuck. It just works. Overall, the device has this feel, right? The connections are very strong. It's a tablet-like device. You cannot be dropping, bumping, but as long as you understand that you have to treat with the care of such type of device, I think you're going to be okay. It's very well built. Now, once that's done, I'll click on this icon and this interface is going to open. And I recognize that for first timers, it might be a little bit intimidating, but I promise you it's easier than what you think. The first thing I'm going to do is click on that button, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be capturing the right audio source, which is the line in. I'll talk about that in a second. And I'm going to start recording. It's telling me that I have 58 gigabytes of free space on my SD card and that the files will be broken down in 3.5 gigabytes of recording. So think about it. If you are recording a long event, like 2 hours long, instead of ending up with a huge file size, you're going to end up with multiple 3.5 gigabyte files. And while this can be a disadvantage for many people, right, I understand the inconvenience, I actually prefer that because sometimes SD cards are not reliable and files can go corrupted. And I would rather have just some files getting corrupted so I could trim that session instead of losing the entire work. And it's so easy for me to select everything, drop it to the timeline, and just make it one file afterwards. It's easy to edit. But anyways, if this is a problem for you, it's important for you to understand that that's how this device works. Okay, now that I'm recording internally, I think it's important for us to do some tests. For instance, right now you are seeing the image recorded directly from my Sony FX3, recorded in 4K 24 frames per second, 200 megabits per second, and 10 bits for 2.2. And this is being recorded internally inside of the SD card. And now I switched. This is the internal recording from the YOLOBOX Pro, recorded at 1080p, 24 frames per second, of course, but 8,000 kilobits per second, 8 bits 420. Let me put side by side so you can have an opportunity to see if there's any significant difference. I don't think there is, and I'm going to do a split screen right now so you can see. Personally, I believe that if you were trying to color grade, it's going to be a nightmare to try to color grade the YOLOBOX profile. It's not robust enough, especially compared to the Sony FX3 file. But because I'm already coming, with high saturation and, the right level of contrast, I'm not coming in with a log footage and I don't have to color grade. I don't think there's a significant disadvantage in terms of the image quality, recording internally on the device or recording directly from the camera, especially for the type of application that this device is designed for and for live streaming. All right. That being said, let me put this angle here because I want to do a quick walkthrough of what is connected with this device, just because it might be a less boring way of showcasing all that it can do. This first HDMI cable is connected to my Sony FX3. The second HDMI cable is connected to this very top angle, which is being made by my Sony a7S III. And this third angle here is actually connected with my Canon 90D, which I'm going to put the angle right now. And as you can see, is connected wirelessly to the device. So what I have is the camera connected to the Holyland Mars 400S, which is wirelessly transmitting to the receiver, which is then connected to the device. So as you can see, this device is able to connect to Canon cameras, Sony cameras, DSLRs, mirrorless, full frame, crop sensor. Of course, it will connect with other brands. We'll connect with camcorders, and it connects as well with webcams. That connection here is this angle, which is being done by my webcam, which is the Logitech Brio 4K. But although it's been recording everything in 1080p. By the way, this device is a 1080p device. You cannot live stream in 4K. You cannot record in 4K. You cannot project in 4K. Everything goes to 1080p regardless of the input. You may be sending a signal in 4K. You may be sending a signal in 720p. It's going to auto-scale everything to fit the screen and to be 1080p. This is a 1080p device. It's important for you to understand that. Continuing here with the tour, you can see that I also have an option to have a hardwired connection for the Ethernet. That's the port right here. This is an HDMI out. So if I put my USB angle here, you can see that I have a monitor, for me. I don't actually need it. It's an optional thing because this screen is already pretty good. But I also have an option to send this to an external monitor, to a TV, to a projector. I have an HDMI out option as well. This is the USB-C out fully featured port, which in the future, not today, but in the future, will allow you to use this device as a capture card, so you can use your professional cameras as they were USB webcams, but it's dependent on some future firmware updates. This is my headphone jack. It's a very nice feature to have a headphone jack. I can actually control the volume of the headphone jack is all the way 0 to avoid echo, but that's a possibility as well. And I have 2 inputs for audio. I have a mic input, which this cable here is connected to my Rode Wireless Go, and we will test it in a second. But besides having a mic input, I also have a line input, which is connected to my Zoom F6. And there's a difference between the levels on a mic input and a line input. I'm not sure, but I think the line input is a little bit quieter because the signal comes stronger and consequently it's cleaner. Correct me if in the comments in case I'm saying something inverted here, but that's my understanding. And as you can see from this angle one more time, I am using a professional mic. This is the AKG P220. It's a condenser mic requiring phantom power. It's a large diaphragm, which is connected with an XLR cable to my Zoom F6, which is recording internally in 32-bit rate and in 32-bit float. But this device also happens to have an line out, which is what is connected here in this connection to the device. And let's do another test. This is the audio recorded directly in the Zoom F6 in 32-bit float. And this is of course, the same audio, but now recorded inside of the YOLOBOX Pro. So there might be some potential audio degradation because it's no longer natively recorded into the recorder. And you tell me if you perceived or not any significant audio degradation. One more time, 1, 2, 3 testing Zoom F6 and 1, 2, 3 testing YOLOBOX Pro recording. I personally don't think there's any significant audio degradation to be worried about. And finally, this is the power cord, which is coming in here. It's a USB-C type, but even if I disconnect, as you can see here, no problem. This has an internal battery, which doesn't change anything in terms of functionality or performance when it's not powered on. And this internal battery is going to last between 2.5 to 3 hours, so it's enough for you to do some pretty serious live streams. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get one more time my Canon 90D. I'm going to put now this angle, and I'm going to show you that I also have a tripod place for me, a tripod screwed in case I want to put this in a tripod. This is where my SD card is inserted. As you can see here, I can also put, I think it's hard to see, but I can also put my SIM card from my phone in the device. I can just remove it from the device and put it in here. And this is the power button. Guys, I don't need to remove the SIM card from my cell phone to use the data plan. I can tether in, it's going to work the same way. But there's an option as well for you to put your SIM card inside of this device. Overall, it's a nice device. In the back, it's kind of rubberish, so it doesn't make noise when it's moving on the table, and it's harder for the device to move on the table as well. I'm deeply impressed with this. Now let's see how a person would typically use it in normal life, right? I guess the person would go to this view and it would come with something like that. So when you are using the device, that would be your view, your interface, okay? Something like that. And as you can see, you have previews or even multi-views. The red box indicates what is being shown on your live stream, what is being recorded to your SD card, what is being sent to your projector. But while you are seeing all of that, a bunch of overlays, your audience sees something like that, right? So you are seeing this, but your audience is seeing that. They are seeing a clean view. They are not seeing all of your overlays. And then if you want to switch angles, it's as simple as tapping, as you would imagine, right? It's just like any sort of video switcher, but without physical buttons. Everything is touchscreen and it works just fine, right? That's super, super cool. Now, please note that I have 4 audio sources, right? My 3 HDMI cables or my 3 HDMI cameras plus my USB. But note that I also have 2 extra slots as video sources, although I cannot physically input anything else. So let's see what we can do. So I click it in Add Video Source, and as we said, there's no physical inputs available. There's no gray boxes around them, so none of them are available. They have been used, but I have so many other options to occupy those 2 available spots. For instance, I could save in the same SD card, which is used to record this video right now, a PDF file, and then I would occupy one of those 2 spots with the PDF file, and then by pressing on that slot, it's going to bring to the screen as it was a video source, as an angle for my live stream or for my recording. Pretty cool that I can do that. If I was live streaming elsewhere, like I could, for instance, set up all my live stream on YouTube directly, and then I can just press that button and bring that live stream set up on my computer to be controlled by this device, pressing this button, almost like in a different video source. So it's another great option that they included in here. My 2 preferred ones are those 2, which means I can pre-record videos in my camera in a different device, and then I save those pre-recorded videos in the SD card, the same one that is recording right now, and I have 2 options, 2 slots, 2 positions to put pre-recorded videos and use them as angles, as video sources. So one example, for instance, would be for you to save your intro, your channel intro, right, as a file in the SD card, and then keep it as a video source. And then as you are starting a live stream or a recording, you do your opening, you thank people for joining, and you say, let's go, and then you press a button, and then your intro comes by during your live stream. And then once it finishes, you go back to your main angle, to your main camera. So it's another option that you have to do this here. Now, what I want to demonstrate are the options for multi-view. The most traditional one is what is called picture-on-picture. While you're going to say, okay, so let me select a given angle. Let's say that this is the angle that I want to be my main angle. And now let's select maybe a face cam to be my second smaller angle. And you can see here how that looks, right? Now, you can just simply with your finger change the position. You can change the aspect ratio. I just made it a square right now. And you know, I clicked the done button too fast. I'm not happy with this. I can hold it for a few seconds and click on the pencil here and then go back to edit because I want to reposition, and I also want to make this maybe a little bit bigger. I think it's too big. So let's make this a little bit smaller and put here in this corner. Now I'm going to press the done button, and then I could be in this angle, and let's imagine that I'm doing a product review. I'm showing something here with a top angle, and I want to still keep a picture-on-picture. I just click it as a separate angle, and then I can continue showing whatever I want, and I'm going to have a face cam still on the little corner. Super cool, super nice that you can do something like that, right? Let's do another example of another multi-view option, which is the split view. You can click in this button here, and you say, okay, so I'm going to have this one as one view, and I'm going to have this one, you know, the same one that we used before, it's no problem, as the other angle. And now I have a split view like you are seeing right now. I get to choose the thickness of the separation you're seeing right here. I can even choose to not have anything, just a clean cut. I can change the separation position where I want to, and I can even use the, change the separation direction. So let's do something like that. And then I'm going to click done. And as you can see, this appeared as a angle for me. So I can be, for instance, in this angle here, in this view. And then by clicking very simply in this option, now I go to this split view, which is actually something that not many video switchers give you the ability to do. And that's quite nice, quite impressive. So if I don't want this anymore, if I want to use this space with something else, I can click and hold for a second, and I can either edit as I shown before, or I can press on the garbage can, right? And then I can delete it, releasing again one more option for me to put a video source. The other one that I want to show you is the last one, is the side-by-side option, where you can say, okay, now I want to show this angle, and I want to show this angle. So let's go like that. So you get to choose if they're going to be smaller or if they are going to be like occupying everything. Unfortunately, I don't have one, but if I had like an overlay made in Photoshop with transparencies, saved as PNG, saved in this SD card, I could bring it in here, and then I could even do a picture-in-picture with creative overlays if I want to. But I don't have one to demonstrate, but I think you understood. So it could be from this angle, and then with one simple click, I can go now to this type of angle and this type of configuration. And I could even continue the tutorial like that. It's an option for me to do it. It's cool, guys. It's easy. It's super nice for us to play with this. Let me show you the type of transitions that you actually get to choose from this device. I'm going to go here to the first tab, which is the tab for settings, and I'm going to scroll down to the video source transitions. And as you can see, I have a number of different types of transition. I get to choose the duration of those transitions, which is something new from the most recent firmware update. And let me show you very quickly the options, right? The cube one is kind of cool. So this is the cube transition. I think it's nice. I don't like as much the flip the page, but it's there for you if you like it. You have the squeeze one, which I also don't like. I actually like a lot the cross zoom. Look what it must. I think it's a good transition. I don't like as much the simple zoom or the window slice. It's not my favorite. Those are not my favorite ones. I don't like much as well the translation or the directional wipe, nor the wipe. But I think I like, and I can see myself using the fade transition. It seems a little bit more professional, maybe a little bit faster. But I think the one that I like the most is the cut, like the default, the super clean one where you click and it happens, right? You don't have to do anything sophisticated. Sometimes less is more, right? And so those are the transition options that you have, on this device. Another thing that I want to show you is that we have this program out option, which as you can see now is flagged red right now, which means that my local audience potentially seeing this through a projector or through a camera monitor or through a TV would be seeing a clean output, just like people from the live stream or what is being recorded onto the SD card. And I'm going to show you right now through this third angle here that this is what my camera tree, my monitor is showing, right? It's a clean view. However, if I unflag that, there's some reflections, but if I unflag that, now you can see that my monitor is now showing everything as I am seeing on the device itself. So now I'm no longer showing a clean view. And if I flag it again, now it becomes a clean view. So it's important for you to understand what this is doing, right? At no moment, your audience on the live stream or what you are recording into an SD card will ever show your configurations, your settings. They will always see a clean view. However, your local audience, someone looking through the projector or through the screen, you control by that selection if they will see a clean view like the rest of your audience or if they will see what you see. So think about a director, for instance, giving you guidance on what to do during an event, right? You'll be able to control everything from your device, but he will be able to see everything if you unflag that option. So it's cool that they thought even about that. It's, in my opinion, super cool. All right. So we talked about video transitions. We talked about, setting up different angles, but there's something else which I believe is cool that you should look as well. So let's imagine that you are in this angle and you already have all of your 6 angles occupied or potentially occupied, right? What I want to show you is that you can also click on this button and talk about overlays. I already have some here, but I still have space to create some others, right? So let's create one more. One option about overlays is that you can click on image overlays, and then if you have created your own overlays in Photoshop with transparency, saved as PNG, saved on the SD card, they would appear here and you would be able to bring them up. I have already done that. I have one right here, which was the same, this way that I've created. Now you also have another option. Instead of creating on PDFs or Photoshops, you can also create directly in the device, and those are lower thirds. You click here on the lower thirds, you have different options of lower thirds. I'm just gonna use one simple one. And please note how easy and how simple it is for me to edit them. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna change the text. Of course, I could change the text. I could change, the text size. I can change, the offset if I want to. I can scale them up or down if I want. With my finger, I can reposition them. you got it, right? It's very flexible in terms of how I can edit. I can change colors and so on. But for now, I'm just going to click it as done. So if I am, for instance, in this angle, and then you are seeing me like that, and then if I want to, show my overlay or my lower third, I'm sorry, I press here and then it would appear. Simple like that, and I can keep editing and deleting and changing as much as I want. Another option for overlay is to do this, which I created in Photoshop with transparencies and saved as PNG, right? That's super cool. There's nothing that prevents you from using both. It's kind of ugly right now, but as you can see, there's the flexibility for using them at the same time. You can even create rolling captures. I didn't change the text, right? Just for the sake of time, one more time. But you can see that now I have a rolling capture and I get to choose the color, the text, if I'm going to have a border or not, how fast it passes, if it's going to pass one and stop, if it's going to pass continuously. There's so many options for me to customize, and I can just remove it from the screen if I don't want it. So you have a total of 6 overlay spots, while you also have an additional 6 angles. So you can do all sorts of combinations between angles and overlays. And in my opinion, this is super cool. Another feature, which I believe is going to impress you, is what's called the scoreboard. And the scoreboard is super nice, right? You can literally, act like you were, let me change this to a different place. Like you were transmitting a live game, right? Broadcasting a live event. And yes, of course, I can change, instead of Colombia and Senegal, I can put the right names. And instead of first, I can put whatever, like first quarter or on your own language, right? I can change the 2018 World Cup. I can change everything. And it's so easy for me to change the scores right here. I can even put a timer and define if it's going to be a counting up or a countdown. I can reset. I can change the team information. There's so many options for me to play with the scoreboards. Even the scoreboards are something that YOLOBOX or YOLOLIVE thought for this device. I was talking to them. They told me that there's even a possibility. That's not a promise. It's not something that they have done. But because sometimes you may be live streaming and recording at the same time, they are thinking in creating the replay option. So you can go to the recording, which is ongoing, and then select a moment and just replay as you are live streaming, which, if you think about it, there's nothing that would prevent them from doing that. They have to create some sort of buffer and have some internal memory to do that, but they said this is possible. So let's see if they're going to come up with this request. It's, in my opinion, a game changer if they were able to offer us replays in these options. So this is super cool, guys. It's the flexibility and the options that you have are amazing. But now let me do a quick pause here. I'm gonna get some extra mics so we can change different audio settings. I'm also gonna put a green screen behind me so we can test that. And we're also gonna simulate a live stream. And I'm gonna put the unlisted link of this live stream so you can compare the direct to YouTube video and also the live stream video. So just give me a second so I can set up everything like that, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, everybody, I am back. I know for you it was a blink of an eye, but for me, I changed a lot of things. You can see I even have a very imperfect green screen. Let's see how that's going to work. But right now, we're going to talk about audio. Then we're going to talk about chroma key, and then we're going to simulate a live stream. So let's start with the audio. As you can see here from this top angle, and I can even put here as well, I have multiple options. And right now, I am capturing audio from my Sony FX3, but the mic is quite far from me, so the audio is not going to be good. But I can flag it in here, and now you are hearing a very bad audio from a very distant mic, which is my Sony FX3. If I switch it, now you are hearing the audio from my Sony a7S III, which is quite above me, but it's still quite far, so the audio quality probably is not that good, but it's coming from this second channel. This is the audio being captured through my webcam, which is the Logitech, and webcams typically don't have good audio anyway. The line in is the professional audio quality coming from my professional mic and my Zoom F6 through the line input. But I also have here connected to the mic input my Rode Wireless Go, which I actually have the Rode interview kit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it. And now you are hearing the audio directly from the Rode Wireless Go with the Rode interview kit. So it's a wireless lavalier set that I'm using like that. Imagine if you were in the street live streaming, professional cameras with this kind of audio, it's pretty cool, right? The flexibility that you have with this device. So yeah, you have multiple options for audio. Let me go back here to my professional audio. One thing that I guess it's a little bit of a complaint is that I don't have an option to capture simultaneous audio from multiple sources. I would like, for instance, to be able to flag audio from camera 1 and camera 2. Maybe I would have different mics connected to those cameras closer to the person, and I want to capture them separately. And I don't have this option to do it in here. I also don't have any editing for the audio, so I don't have compressor or noise elimination. And sometimes when you are live streaming, you don't want to just use the raw audio directly captured from the mic. It would be nice if we could have some editing options here. And I connect about that with YOLOLIVE, and they said that they're working on it. So it's something that is potentially going to come very, very soon, actually, on a future firmware update. So that's the audio portion. As you can see, it's still quite powerful, although far from being perfect. Let's talk about green screen. I'm going to capture now from my Sony a7S III, so you can see what I'm changing here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this upper right corner, and it's going to open this screen, which is called the keyer. And I think I'm correctly positioned. Now, once I press this switch here, look what happened with the green image. It becomes like a transparent symbol, so I can flag on and off. So if you were to see what my Sony FX3 is showing, it's still the green screen, but when you see it from the top angle here, it's kind of automatically recognizing that I have a green screen. If it was blue, I would also have an option to select as blue. I get to change how sensitive, right, I want this to be, as you can see. So the better, the better lit is your green screen, the better your result's going to be. As you can see, mine is far from being perfect, but it's good enough for this example. And I have some settings which, in my opinion, are very user-friendly. I could even select a background image if I want to, but I'm going to do actually something different. So I created here. So now camera 1 is this. This is camera 1. And you see, that's what the FX3 sees. That's what the YOLOBOX is interpreting. It's eliminating the green from the screen. I think there's even some options, some opportunities here to change a little bit here, a little better, leave it a little bit better. I think it's better now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to click and then create a new audio source. I'm going to do a picture on picture. I'm going to select that angle as the first one, and I'm going to select the green screen or the chroma keyed angle as the second one. I'm going to change the aspect ratio to square. I'm going to put this to this corner, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger like that, and I'm going to call this as an additional angle. So I can come from this to this. And look, I think this is pretty cool. If I feel like a gamer, which has a face cam and the game is passing on the background. So this is the type of actions that you can do with your chroma keying, and the creativity is really limited. There's nothing that you're not allowed to do. It's an electronic interface. There's no physical button, so you can do whatever you want. You can move and reposition everything the way you want. So YOLOLIVE, good job on creating this user interface. I have to say, it's much easier than the green screen or the keying of the Atem Mini, right? You have to use your computer. You have to know where to click. You'd have to know what it means. Here, it's so user-friendly. So you did a very good job. It's very powerful and user-friendly, and that's the perfect combination, in my opinion. Congrats, YOLOLIVE. I think you did a good job. Now, let's talk about live streaming. I'm going to click on that page, and I'm going to explain to you that there's a difference between being linked and being connected. As you can see, I am linked to my YouTube channel, Megapixelers, but I'm currently unconnected. While for the Facebook and Twitch, I'm not even linked. And I'm not going to link them or connect them right now because I'm not going to simulate simultaneously live streaming, but it would be as simple as switching them on and then going live, and it would be automatically streaming to all of them. I could also do RTMPs or custom streaming if I was interested to. Now let me connect to my YouTube channel. I already put my password before. So by flagging this button, it's going to ask me if I want to do a live stream publicly, unlistedly, or privately. Of course, you're going to go public, right? But because I'm just recording a tutorial and I don't want my audience to think I'm going, live right now, I'm just going to select the option unlisted. And I'm going to put the link of this unlisted live stream on the description, so you can compare the image, directly from YouTube and the live stream, image, so you can see if there's any difference in image quality or audio quality. Okay, now that I am ready to go, as soon as I press the button go live, which you are seeing right here, so let me put here the this top angle, which is that one. As soon as I press the button go live, I'm going to be sending to YouTube. And then I'm not going to be able to edit the video anymore because I cannot edit the live stream. So let's press the button go live and ready to live stream. And yes, it says connecting right here and live. It looks like I am live. So if you clicked on the unlisted video of the YOLOBOX Pro tutorial and you are now seeing this live stream, you can compare the quality from the direct send to YouTube versus the live stream in terms of image quality and audio quality. I also want to show you through my webcam angle here, which I brought my computer. And I actually do not need my computer to do a live stream. I can do everything directly from the YOLOBOX Pro. But I brought my computer because I want to simulate SIM audience. So if I click here, I can see already a live stream happening on the background. I'm going to copy or get a shareable link. I'm going to open a new page, and I am going to enter this live stream as I am audience. And yes, I am muted right now, so I don't have any echo. So again, I don't need my computer to do a live stream with this device, but I want to simulate audience because there's something pretty cool that this device is able to do as well. And I'm going to put this top angle, and I'm going to put the comment section right here. Guys, whenever I am, somebody watching my live stream makes a comment on their computer, right? This comment appears here in this device as well. So I'm going to do just a test comment here, simulating that I am audience. And I just entered in my computer. And you will see that in a few seconds, it's going to show right here as well. And we will be able to, you see, it appeared as test comment. And then by simply tapping into this comment, it's going to show on the screen like that. And if I tap it again, it's going to remove. If you are in a very active live stream and many comments are passing, I think it locks after maybe 50 comments, and then you have to allow them to keep moving. And I think you may have, I have never had that experience yet, but I know they have thought that through in case you have multiple comments coming up. However, I didn't really like the position, the size, and do I get to edit that? Of course. So you can, for instance, click in this button and you can say where you are going to position that, and you can decide what's going to be the size that this is going to be occupying, the level of transparency, the background color. You can change everything. You can change even the font size. So now, if instead of the way I showed you before, now it's going to appear something like that. It seems like the same because I didn't write too big of a comment, right, for us to show it. But guys, it's fantastic that you have an option to interact with your audience directly from this device by tapping into their comments and their picture appear on the screen. It's very similar to what you can do with StreamYard, right? But now you can do directly from this device. And please note now from this angle that I am streaming at about 4,000 kilobits per second, 25 frames per second. I haven't dropped any frame, as you can see from here, right? And I am recording and I am live streaming at the same time. I could even come here in the encoding settings, as you can see, the bit rate has been set to 4,000 kilobits per second. I would have to pause the live stream, but this is where I would be able to change it to 8,000 kilobits per second if I needed to. And I'm going to tell you that with my wireless internet connection, I would probably have a problem, but I can manage 4,000 kilobits per second right now. And that's it. Let me stop the live stream. So if you're watching through the unlisted link, thank you for watching. Let me stop this right now, but I'm going to continue to record here in the device, just to basically say thank you for watching this tutorial. Because guys, it's a pleasure to be partnering with such a great company, which is YOLOLIVE, especially on a device that I like so much. Don't forget that there's an affiliated link in the description, in case you're interested in this device. And if you watch this video to this point, don't forget to subscribe, to leave a comment, to leave a like, so I can feel motivated to create additional free content like that for you. YOLOBOX did not pay me to do this tutorial. They did send me the device, and I get to keep it for the review that I've done in Portuguese. But I'm a big fan of this device. And that's it for today. I hope you liked it. I'm gonna stay here. See you next time. Bye-bye.